Guys, deviled eggs made with homemade mayo, a whole different ball game. Wow. Good morning. Welcome to a brand new vlog. Today is an exciting day. Number one, deviled eggs with homemade mustard. Life goals, honestly. And number two, my David Austin roses are delivered today for the season. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I'm a little underprepared right now. There are a few pots that I need for the ones in the back garden. I really wanted to like build an arch by the entranceway and do some stuff over there. And you know, there's lots of plans over there. I can show you later, but I'm a little underprepared for that, the Black House garden. The Arbor garden, I'm so ready. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I can't wait for them to get here. In case you're wondering, is she excited about something every day? Yes, the answer is yes. I'm excited about something pretty much every day. It's the only way to live. It's lunchtime. I'm in the kitchen about to make the meal that I planned to make this week. I was supposed to make it yesterday, but I was lazy because it's a recipe that's a little more intensive. It's a zucchini lasagna, so it has all of the other ingredients of lasagna, but instead of lasagna noodles, it uses zucchini noodles. And you cannot taste a difference. It is amazing. Also, for any vegetarians out there, I always look through the comments on the recipes to see if there are things that other people would change and just to like, you know, glean their wisdom. And a lot of, well, not a lot, one commenter said that they used plant-based meat substitute and they said it was incredible. So yeah, I will leave it in the description box below as per usual, and I'm excited to eat this for my lunch today. This recipe does call for like sheets of sliced zucchini, but I don't know about you, but I'm not going to be using super sharp knives to cut 1/8 strips of zucchini. So I just use my spiralizer and I'll just like lay this in there flat like that. I'm sure it'll taste fine. I've actually never tried this before, so it'll be an experiment. I like to put these on a baking sheet and then bake them in the oven for a little bit first, just to get as much of the water out as possible so that they like really do taste like the texture of noodles. So I'm going to do that now. It's here! Woohoo! Oh my god, I'm so excited! Here's my order. I'm not going to take everything out just yet because I'm going to reseal it in this bag for a little while, but I'll soak them overnight and then I will plant them tomorrow, hopefully. On a bit of a time crunch because we're going out of town tomorrow, which is very exciting. So I have to get these planted tomorrow. And I have, oh my gosh, how many in here? 11? 11. So then we know, you know, I'm me and I got some more seeds. So I have 5 more. Zinnia Raspberry Limeade. Sweet Scabious Fata Morgana, more coneflower, but these like kind of wispier style ones. I think these are so pretty. Zinnia Isabellina, and Sweet Scabious Black Knight. A lot of these are not flowers I would normally gravitate toward in my garden for permanent, but this is a color palette that I want to use for the wedding, hence its cruciality for this year. Yellow. I will tell you more about what we're doing tomorrow, but Andrew is working on some last minute additions to an art piece that he needs to have ready for this weekend.
Yeah, down to the wire.
Are you excited?
Terrified.
I'm excited. And right now I'm about to put on Tales from the Kitchen Garden. Marcus Wareing's Tales from the Kitchen Garden. It's a show that's actually on BBC and it's blocked in the US, which is really annoying. But luckily a kind, benevolent soul has put the majority of the episodes on YouTube. So yeah, I actually discovered this show through another influencer that I watch, and I'm obsessed with it. I have been like devouring the episodes. So there's not that many. I think there's like only 10 on YouTube that I've seen so far, but we'll see. But yeah, Tales from the Kitchen Garden. It's a delight. Just a pure gardening escapism. Kitties. Can I get in there? Is there room for me? Tell me, is there any more room for me in this kettle puddle?
Goodness. Oh, wow. Dreaming moments like this finisher. And the local community to share it with. None of it will go to.
I think this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It's a rose hot tub. Night, night, my babies. Hello. I'm out in the Black House garden right now. I have 11 roses that I have to plant today because we leave and go out of town tomorrow. So I've got one of them planted over there. That one is Teasing Georgia. And then I have another one planted right at the front. That one is Bathsheba. They're both a climber. I have 2 more that I need to plant in here, 2 more in pots, and then the rest of the 11 are going at the arbor garden. All right, I'm gonna hop to it because I don't have a lot of time. I'm on my lunch break right now, so I need to hustle. And that will eventually soak in and help the roots to settle in. 1 more to go. All right, got these first 4 in. Over there is Wild Eve, Teasing Georgia, a climbing rose, Tea Clipper, and Bathsheba. Over in the arbor garden, getting the other roses planted. But all of my ones I planted last year are leafing out. Right there I've planted a crocus rose, a Jude the Obscure, and Sweet Juliet right there. And then over on this side, I have a Shropshire Lad, which is a climbing rose. That's Queen of Sweden that I planted last year. And over there is one called Litchfield Angel. That one is a knockout rose. It's like a red pink. It's really pretty. It's quite a diseased rose. You can see on like the canes, they've got a lot of canker, but it doesn't seem to mind it. Hopefully it won't make the other one get sick. But yeah, I'm so excited. Look how all of my roses from last year are leafing out. That's Crown Princess Margareta. It's one of my favorites. This one is Woolerton Old Hall. It's already climbed all the way up the trellis in 1 season. Not very many blooms though, so hopefully this year and next year it'll do better. My other roses, Eustacia Vi, Olivia Rose Austin, the Lady Gardener, and Claire. That's another climbing rose that I'm training along the fence. Chopped all of my grasses a couple weeks ago. I can start seeing green new growth coming in there. I probably could have cut it shorter, but I didn't have the proper tools. This is some catmint that's coming back. More catmint, salvias right here. That's a lupin. Salvia caradana right here. A lupin, it's super, super pretty. Some irises, Desdemona rose, Ambridge rose, and Windermere rose. This is some lavender in a pot. I did prune it, but I just haven't really found a good spot for it yet. And there's more lavender right here. It looks like it survived. There's some of it right there, but I can't really tell if it's alive or not. So we'll see. This is Abraham Darby, a stunning rose. Oh my gosh. And look, I had some bulbs planted in this last year from the bulb lasagna. Pushkinia is coming back. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but look how pretty it is. This pot I used to do all blue flowers, so I had any kind of variations on blue. Some beautiful sweet peas in it. All of my neighbor's daffodils that she planted over here. That's a really big rambling rose. I planted these crocus and these tulips that are coming up right here. This is a sedum that's coming up. I could not believe the amount of bees that were on the flowering sedum in the autumn. It was insane, absolutely insane. They loved it. Yeah. I've sort of just accepted that a lot of the garden this year is going to be a wash in terms of how good it looks, because I want to grow so many flowers for the wedding. It's just gonna be like a production garden this year because I really need to grow as much as I can for the wedding. But it's okay, it'll still be beautiful, just not quite as planned or as like, I kind of call my style a landscaped cutting garden in a way. Carrying this bag I was carrying my roses in. So it's not going to be as much of like a landscaped cutting garden as it has been in previous years because I need it for production this year. Up at 5 o'clock.
Yep.
On a plane. Dropped off
train, automobile.
Dropped off your painting entries for the painting contest. Came back to the hotel. Got some food. I'm like, can't even process. I just woke up from a nap. So.
Very necessary nap.
Yes. Now we're gonna go back to the convention center. So, okay, here's where we are. We're in Chicago. We're at a convention called Adepticon, that has a painting contest called Golden Demon that you have been working for years for your entries that you've been painting. So that's why we're here in Chicago, and you're going to be playing a lot of games also. So yeah, it should be a really fun weekend. I'm just tagging along. I have a spectator pass. He's like, I asked, can I register please? And he's like, oh, what games are you playing? And I'm like, none. So I'm just here for moral support and to have fun in Chicago. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're going back over to the convention right now, and then we have a dinner reservation in Chicago. We're kind of just outside of Chicago. We're in the suburbs, but we're going to Chicago later for dinner, and it is restaurant week this week in Chicago, which is just perfect timing and perfect luck. So we get to eat at some of the best restaurants while we're here. Maybe not best, but some really good ones. Some of my favorites.
I think Boca is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, we're going to this place called the Purple Pig tonight too, and that's like, I love the Purple Pig. It's so good. Every time that I come to Chicago, which has been like 3 times maybe, I have to eat here. So, okay, let's get my tag. You got yours? Let's go to Adepticon. Think of this as like the Rhinebeck of Andrew's hobbies. Look at this cutie. What's this area called?
This is like the vendor hall.
The vendor hall. Okay, so the shopping area.
Yep.
So all the tools like the models and the paints and books and games, etc. That's all in here. We're in Chicago.
It's too cold.
It's so cold. Love all this Gothic architecture. We just got to the restaurant, the Purple Pig in Chicago. I've eaten here like 2 or 3 times. It's incredible. I cannot wait. To you. We started with a wicker salad. Is that a winter? A winter salad.
Ooh, and they salted it. Ooh, I like that.
We just finished up our dinner at Purple Pig. What did you think?
It was good. It was good.
I love that restaurant.
Their cocktail game needed some work, but their food was very good.
The food was phenomenal. The winter salad, an unexpected dark horse.
Yeah, delicious.
So good. I mean,
Blood orange, candied walnut,
endive, radicchio.
pomegranate seed.
Yeah, it was so delicious.
So
So good. But now, post dinner, we're going to a Chicago classic, the Green Mill Lounge, which is a like historic bar in Chicago that has like mob ties from back in the day, and jazz performers, poetry performers like Billie Holiday, Louis Armstrong has performed here. So it's really cool. So we're gonna go in there and check it out.
Amanda Wolf and the Emerald Spotlight here with them there rock.
You show up. We're talking about the Lean Lean Show.
Trying to decide what to wear today. I brought half handmaids and half ready-to-wears. I think I'm gonna go for the gray dot dress because that's Andrew's current favorite. Outfit of the day, Rose Cafe bustier dress bodice with a self-drafted skirt added to it. It's got a gathered tier on the bottom. This has got volume. This thing is like a can dress. We're headed out to get some brunch at a local brunch place. It's called Wildberry
Cafe.
Well, yeah, Wildberry Cafe.
So much better than Wordle.
I know, I love it. It's so fun. Day 2 at the convention. We're going to walk around the little tournament area, see what games are being played. We heard something about laser tag, and you know, we're just the most mature, so we're gonna check that out. So we're gonna check it out. Is that like the games are as much about the game itself as it is about like the artwork that you can create for it. So there's many facets to the hobby. We are currently in the board game hall, so you can rent a board game from the library of board games that they have and play board games. So that's what we're doing. We're playing Lorenzo Il Magnifico. I've never played it before, but it seems fun and about Florence, and we both love Italy, so we're gonna do that. Andrew's gone to get us some drinks, and we're just gonna play board games until his friend comes here. Guys, these are tiny. See? Just, you know, for scale. Just so you know.
First glance, I was like,
We've arrived for pizza. It's a casserole. Good afternoon, everyone. It is the next day, much later in the day. I have been a very busy and not busy bee. I went shopping at the mall while Andrew was doing his gaming things. Got some stuff at the mall. I came back to the hotel, have took an epic nap, if you can't tell from my face. And now I'm meeting the boys for dinner. Look at how cool this menu is. So funny. Curious George. I'm blue, cocoa confit in my chai. I can't decide between the old-fashioned or this wicked-ass pineapple. I love egg whites in cocktails. They're so frothy and delicious. You ready? Cool. That's so cool. Cheers. Yours has a little popsicle in it. news, guys. Okay, we just got home from Chicago. Had a great time. Sorry we didn't get to show you much Chicago content, really. The Ubers were so expensive to Chicago from where we were. We were in the suburbs about like, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes outside of like downtown Chicago, and one Uber each way would cost like between $40 and $60 depending on what time of day it was. So it was just like, ooh, no. So we didn't go out to Chicago that much, just 2 times while we were there, unfortunately. But when we got back, we were only gone for 4 days, but we got back and I had a feeling it might happen. I tried to water them like really well before we left, like a little over watering, but so many of my indoor seedlings are just like a crisp. My whole tray of Cosmos done for. So I just had to rip them out of there and resow them. Luckily Cosmos grow pretty quickly, but some of the things I've sown like 3 or 4 times already because I had to resow them after Mexico, and it's just, yeah. We'll see. It's kind of hard to tell what's going to make it and what's not. At least this time we were only gone for 4 days, based on like before when we went to Mexico we were gone for like 6 or 7 days. So there's still a lot that's alive in the trays compared to Mexico. But yeah, it's just a bummer. You know, like you put so much effort and hard work into something and then it all dies when you leave it. Of course, I should have had Andrew's sister came over to watch the cats while we were away. I should have had her water the plants. I just felt guilty about like imposing too much on her time. And funny story, oh my gosh, so while we were away, I woke up really early one morning while we were in Chicago, and it was like, I don't know, I'd say I woke up around like 5 o'clock, and I opened my phone and I had a notification on my phone that somebody was actively in our house on my computer. And I like woke Andrew up and I was like, Andrew, like somebody is in the house because they're on my computer. And I could track my Mac through my phone, through iCloud. And it says that the computer was still at home, but I was nervous. So we like called, you know, Andrew's sister at 5:30 in the morning, and we're like, I'm so sorry, but can you go over and make sure that no one's like robbing the house right now? Turns out I had accidentally left a laptop open, and it was just Mika trying to hack me, probably. I was so annoyed with myself. I never leave my laptop open like that. So yeah, that was really annoying. Anyway, we're back. I've resown the Cosmos now. I've resown a few other things in the tray that just looked really done for, and now I just want to protect my plants that are out here right now because it's supposed to be in the 20s for the next 3 days, I think. So at nighttime, it's going to be in the 20s for the next 3 days at night. So I just want to put this environmental cloth, frost cloth, on top of the seedlings to give them a little bit of extra protection, warmth. This is what it looks like, by the way. It's called horticultural fleece. And even though they're in a greenhouse, and these are all cold hardy plants for the most part, I don't think a lot of these want like a hard freeze or anything, so. Okay. I'm not exactly sure if I should cover the roses or not, because I just planted 11, you know, new rose bushes right before I left. So I'm not sure if I should cover them or not. This is like probably overkill, I think, because this cover is made for probably huge, long rows, aka non-Brooklyn gardening. Yeah, I just don't know if I should cover the roses or not, but I had like a kind of a stroke of an idea. I thought, maybe I'll just use like paper bags. We'll give them a little, it wouldn't be as warm as this. I could cut this up. I don't think I'm gonna do that though. I could cut it up, but I don't think I will. But I have some paper bags like for grocery shopping that someone was gonna get rid of that were like just outside. So I brought those. I'll show you. Like 3 or 4 in there. And I have 4 roses, maybe 5 over here. I can't remember for sure. I have 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5. 2 of them are in containers over here. So I'm gonna cover them, I think, with the paper bags tonight so that they don't get too cold. Hopefully that will help at least a little bit. We'll see. This one is so beautiful. Look at that coloring. So stunning. Everything is so floppy. I just gave it a really good water, but everything is flopping over because it dried out. So I hope they'll be okay. This looks all right. I'm fairly certain this will recover. The plants indoors, however. Sigh, sigh, sigh. At least all this looks pretty green. And yeah, so many tulips coming. Yeah. This was a full tray of Cosmos. Absolutely crispy, demolished in here. Terrible. Some of these I'm like on the fence, like, will they come back? Will they not? I do not know. Ugh, so sad. Let's see what's in here. I really wanted to try the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, so I got a small one of those. I've just been in a cream bronzer and cream blushers kind of space, and I really like them, that glowy kind of look, so I'm trying this Huda Beauty bronzer. I needed a new mascara because mine is due for replacement. Also a new Makeup Forever concealer. I am in love with these. Alana Davidson, her and her YouTube channel, she gives the best recommendations, and I fell in love with this concealer. It's the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Light Capturing Self-Setting Concealer. Longest name ever, but it is amazing. One of my blushes is just like disgusting on top from using it. I've had it for over a year now, so I got a refill of that one, and also a new color called After Hours. So this is the color that I already had, called Happy Hour, and it's just like the brightest, prettiest pink. I have it on right now actually, although I'm sure a lot of it has worn off, but it's from Tower 28. This is Happy Hour, super bright pink. And then this other one, because I like purple blushes actually, it's called After Hours, and it's this like dark berry color. I'm sure it won't look that dark on. You can like really sheer it out. It's really, really beautiful. So I wanted to try the After Hours color. Those are both from Tower 28. I love their packaging. And then the rest of this is samples or minis that I purchased with the points that I have from previous purchases of Sephora. So I got the Nécessaire, the body wash, so a body wash to try. I got a Bioessence Squalane Copper Peptide Rapid Plumping Serum. It's essentially a moisturizing serum, a mini of that. And then I got this medium hair texture shampoo and conditioner sample from Way. I've never tried Way. And then they had this amazing set of like samples. Normally I'm not a samples person, but most of the stuff in this samples pack is stuff I actually wanted to try. So they had a samples pack of just like little mini stuff. And I just was in the mood for discovery of new brands. So I got quite a bit of stuff. A lot of this is just top-ups of stuff that I needed new ones of because they're either expired or due to expire soon or almost out. And then a couple things that I really just wanted to try, like the Huda Beauty contour and bronzer and the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. This one is quite pricey, but I feel like this could be a wedding day foundation and for like picture perfect going out foundation type of stuff. So I really wanted to try it. I tried it on in the store and it was gorgeous. So yeah, we'll see. And that's my Sephora order. We've just finished making our meal plan for the week. It took us a lot longer than usual for this one, I think, because
there was a debate.
Yes, debate over. Okay, let us know in the comments. Meatloaf, yay or nay? because it's an obvious yay. It's so good. Everybody just loves to hate on meatloaf. Unduly, it's delicious. And you will see.
Okay, I'm open to the possibility.
You will see. But yeah, this week we're having falafel salad, deconstructed falafel salad. That's a new favorite of ours. It's linked on my blog right now. Meatloaf, a side salad, and then carrots inspired by the ones that we had last night at that restaurant. The smoked carrot, what was it? Tartare is what they called it. It was delicious. A salad with steak on it. And then a two-nighter, lemon and chicken with garlic and olives in a winter salad. Sounds really good. So that's our meal plan for the week.
Dump.
Okay, guys, so
Spectators batch doing spices.
this is a family recipe. It is pita chips, homemade. You have pita bread, buttered, and then you put onion salt, oregano, and ground thyme. And Andrew and I like to put spicy stuff on it. My mom got us this for Christmas a long time ago, and we love it and put it on everything.
It is very spicy though, so use it sparingly.
I don't know if you could even find that one. I don't even know where you would get.
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying that if somebody found it and they put,
Yeah, it was
if you put
unexpected.
a teaspoon on something, you will die.
Because I can handle a lot of spice, and we accidentally really went ham on it, and
Even that is too much.
I know you said that, but we did it last time and it was delicious.
It's too much.
And then after you have put all of your spices onto them, you'll put them into a stack and use a knife to cut them into quarters and then bake them in the oven at 325 for like 9 to 11 minutes until they kind of get a little golden on in the oven. And then you take them out, and then they're homemade pita chips, and they are amazing. They're so delicious. It's one of the components of the deconstructed falafel salad. Andrew found that recipe like, I don't know, a couple months ago, and we make it probably once every 2 weeks, I feel, ever since we
It's very good.
discovered it. Yeah. And in the oven, we have Andrew's,
Roasted chickpeas?
yes, roasted chickpeas. You put some olive oil in there and just a lot of spices, right?
Yeah.
What are the spices that you're using on it these days?
Normally we use chopped garlic, but it's already late and this takes a little while to bake, so we use garlic powder, cumin, paprika, onion powder,
Onion powder.
and you cook it in olive oil. But we often make like a rosemary olive oil, so it's like some of that.
How long do you cook that one on a pretty high temp, and then we lower the temp whenever we put
Yeah.
in the pita chips. So
We
we
started
start that first. So those start at like,
We started at 425 and it cooks for 40 minutes. So it's like whenever you get the pita chips ready, you drop it to 325.
yep. And so then we're gonna put together the rest of it. So we're just gonna chop up some lettuce. We chop
Cucumber.
up a cucumber, tomatoes, and then we also put hummus in it. I just made some homemade hummus. I'll leave the recipe linked down below.
And there's a dressing that's like tahini and lemon.
Yep.
So
It's just so good. It's so good. That's the essentials of the recipe, really. It's vegan, not gluten-free because of the pita chips, but you could make it gluten-free if you wanted to. Yeah, it's really good. It's almost 11, but we're both not tired right now because we took like a really long nap when we got home from Chicago earlier today. So Andrew's working on his painting right now, which I will show you in just a second. It's amazing, one of my favorites he's ever done. And then I think I'm gonna work on my sewing project, my striped shirt project. So I think I'm gonna do that, either that or I will read a book. Let's see, but let's go see Andrew's painting. And I never properly showed you, lots of people have been asking me about the one that he was working on during Vlogmas. That one is pretty much finished, you would say, right?
It needs a little bit more work, but it's close.
Yeah, so he's like kind of calling it done for right now. We'll potentially come back to it at a later date, but let me show you it. Yeah, it's pretty insane. It's huge. So we have got a wooden table with a tablecloth draped artfully, this amazing candlestick and candle in the smoke. Here, let me like block some of the light to show you like how crazy that smoke is, and the shine on the candlestick holder, the roses, the pitcher, the shine on the pitcher is like insane. The lemons, the plate, glass, a wine glass, a knife, the skull and the book. I love this little vignette right here, and I love this little vignette right here. Inspired by Dutch masters paintings, which have a lot of these kind of still life motifs in them, including the skull, which was a common piece in a Dutch still life. You happy with it?
Very.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I love it. It's so cool. Lucky for me, I do have enough fabric to recut out this sleeve with the striping going in the cross grain direction. So I am definitely gonna do that because I just think it adds, the stripe direction is part of what makes the top in my opinion, so I am gonna recut that out. Pausing here for the night. I've put in one sleeve. I accidentally got it caught and had to kind of unpick a little bit and redo a little tiny section. This fabric is such an open weave cotton. It's 100% cotton. You have to be so careful when unpicking it because it could snag really easily. So I'm hoping that doesn't mean that this shirt is not going to last very long because it's such a loose weave cotton, but I guess we'll have to see. I'm really glad that I decided to recut out the sleeves. It just like, if it was going all the same direction, it wouldn't be as cool. It definitely looks cooler with the stripes going in a different direction. So I put in one sleeve, I'll do the other one tomorrow and move forward from there. I also finished the collar, constructing the collar, so I did that. So that will, you know, it's coming together, it's coming together. I am over in my seed starting setup to just kind of survey the damage from yesterday, see what's kind of looking okay today. All in all, it's not too bad. There were some things like my Dara, anything, the Cosmos, of course, anything that has really like thin, spindly kind of leaves. I'm surprised the dill has made it. Actually, it's like the only one with that kind of growth habit that made it. Anything like that perished, and anything with like really juicy, fat, beautiful leaves is fine. Like the rudbeckia. I'm kind of curious. I need to kind of look and see like the natives or heat tolerant plants. I'm curious like how they, I should do like a survey like that. Interestingly, the Black Magic Cosmos, which are slightly different, they're like chocolate scented cosmos, which is amazing. Most of those that sprouted are still alive. So this is good. I did have to resow my entire tray of cosmos, but it's okay. They're so quick to grow. And I'm also really excited because, here, let me turn my camera around. I'm finally seeing some germination on my cherry caramel phlox. For whatever reason, the variety Isabellina and whipped cream germinate just fine, but cherry caramel, this is one I really, really want to grow for my wedding. So I've reseeded it like 4 or 5 times. I'm finally seeing some growth and some germination in it. Tons in the cell. So we'll see. I did reseed it again because who knows? Verbena bonariensis back there. That's a cup and saucer vine that is still hanging on. So yeah, all in all, things are looking okay. Some things like these snapdragons back here look dead, but I'm just gonna leave them in here for now. Anything that looks like questionable, I'll leave. Almost all of my Cerinthe right there, Cerinthe major, honeywort, aka, is dead, which really stinks because those seeds are quite expensive. The rudbeckia. So yeah, I think it's gonna be okay. Show you some progress in daylight. Like I said, I am really glad that I recut the sleeves. I think it's gonna make such a big difference when it's actually on. This neckline gets gathered right here. Finished the collar, attached one sleeve. We'll be adding the other one later tonight, hopefully. Yeah, I think it's looking really good. I'm excited about that. It's coming together nicely. So yeah, excited about how that is turning out, but I think I'm gonna end the vlog here. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.